when Mikhail was 12 years old, and he actually towards the end of the game he finds a mate in 8. And when we get to that point, I'll ask you to go ahead and pause the video, and you guys can try and find it. It's not too hard to find because it requires a sacrifice, but it's not bad. Let's go ahead and get on with the game. Starts off with e4. We have e6. d4, d5, this is the French defense, and Tal goes for knight to d2, which is the Tarrasch variation. We have c5, e takes d5, queen takes d5, knight g2 f3, knight c6, bishop c4, kicking the queen, queen h5, d takes on c5, bishop takes on c5, knight e4, attacking the bishop, knight g2 e7, or it wasn't attacking the bishop, but putting pressure on it. And then bishop g5, queen g4, and we have queen to d3, protecting this knight because Zilber was attacking it. Then we have b6, queenside castle, and kingside castle. And this position is completely winning for white. And in this position, Tal should have gone for h3, and of course, you can't capture the d2 pawn or the g2 pawn because rook to g1 will trap black's queen if he takes the g2 pawn at least. So after h3, then queen f5, then g4, queen g6, and then knight h4 will trap the queen. Or if he wanted to avoid this, he can probably play like knight e5 and then simply taking the queen after he would take, you capture with the rook, then he would capture the pawn, and then knight takes, pawn takes, and then Tal would be up a piece. But after kingside castle, Tal actually plays bishop f6. And it looks like a deadly move because if you take and then knight takes, it's the royal fork, of course. But after bishop f6, Zilber just plays queen f4 check, king b1 is the only move, and then g takes f6 because it was able to be captured. But Tal, he said that he wasn't really all that upset about this move. He said, I'm just down a bishop, let's just keep playing. So we have g3, kicking the queen, queen h6, g4, he pushes the pawn forward, then queen f4, he goes back, then g5, f takes g5, knight f takes g5, and then knight g6, h4, knight b4, attacking the queen, queen h3, and then we have e5. It's actually better to play h6 here, h6 kicking the strong knight away, but he decides to go with e5, opening up an attack on the queen. So we have queen g2, bishop f5, h5, king g7, and you don't really want to move this knight away. That's why he plays king g7, because if you move the knight away, then Tal would have a bunch of discoveries, like he would probably play here and then capture the queen. So we have h takes g6, h6, kicking the knight, but we have bishop takes f7, rook takes f7, and then g takes f7, h takes g5, knight takes g5, queen takes f2. And this is the point in the game where there is Tal, at 12 years old, finds a forced checkmate in 8 moves. So I invite you to pause the video. Okay, and for all of you who have solved the position in front of you, I congratulate you. It's not that hard to find, but it is nice. In this position, Tal plays knight takes g5, and this is a double check from the queen and the knight, or the queen and the knight. So now the king has to move. So we have king f7, or king takes f7, and then queen g7 check. He's forcing the black king to capture this knight, and if he doesn't, of course, if it goes like here, then rook h8 is checkmate immediately. So king takes e6. We have rook h6 check. Bishop g6. It's the only move. Queen takes g6 check. King e7. Rook h7 check. King f8. Queen g7 check. King e8. Queen d7 check. king f8, and rook h8 checkmate. It's a very beautiful mate and 8 in my opinion. I think it's really, really nice. It's kind of like a simple one, but it's really, really cool. Hope you guys enjoyed that, and congratulations to anybody who was able to solve the mate and 8. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.